All right, hi guys. This is to demonstrate how I um, do my data analysis. Um, so my recordings land in this folder. Um, they are named by the recorder almost perfectly, except I have to keep putting that 0 in by hand. So I started at 9 p.m. to midnight, and then I ran another one. I forget if I stopped at 5 or 6 a.m. But anyway, I'm going to take them from that folder and I am going to put them in for Vesper analysis in the recordings folder. Eventually I'll start recording them directly to this folder. But anyway, we need to analyze the night of the 6th in Vesper. There's a few things that I've done to make running Vesper easier. Anyone who's been using Vesper knows that you have to go into the Anaconda command line, and you have to activate the Vesper environment, and you have to change directory to your thing, and you have to run the server, which on a PC you have to use this code. On the current version, the old version, you could just say Vesper run server. But anyway, I have a batch file that has all of those commands in here. The timeouts are pointless, but basically this one says to open this thing, and then the next one says to activate the environment, the next one says change the directory, and the next one says to run the server. So all I have to do is double click that, and it does all those steps, and those 3 copy pastes are all done by hand, which I find to be nice. And once I can see that it's ready, it says it's performing system checks. Once it's ready, I go here, it says it's listening, it's ready, and I say localhost, and you can see that I've already been looking at the clips. You see how the numbers have turned white after they've been analyzed. The numbers on the calendar turn white. You'll see that in a second as well. So I'm going to import some recordings. I'm going to import from that folder where I just put those files from, and it's looking. It's looking there, and it's checking the file names for any new audio files, and it's already completed. It found that, yeah, I'm recording. So the 9 p.m. to midnight is a 3-hour file, and the midnight to 5 a.m. Is the other file. And these times are in Greenwich Mean Time, I guess. Something confusing like that. So I'm going to look at the clip calendar again. It seems like yeah, so it's the night of the 6th. So this is going to get way cooler soon with the Benjamin Van Doren detector. Killing time waiting for that. I've just been using the old bird ones for old time's sake. It's probably the last time I'll touch those guys. So I've just been running them because they're pretty quick to run. And yeah, so I have to type in this date. There's a part of me that wishes the computer would just look for any dates that haven't been analyzed yet, and run it on anyone that still needs it. But Anyway, my detection schedule is set up. I had to do that already. I guess it's one of the presets, detection schedule. And this one just says that I want it to only analyze stuff between astronomical dusk and dawn. This just reduces my burden from Robin calls. Obviously, I'm missing stuff in the twilight hours, probably some rarities blowing me by, but can't analyze everything. For me, it's fine to trim. It's better to get something than nothing. So I say detect, and this is going to take a little while. So while we're waiting for these detectors to run, there's another thing that I want to show you, which is that in your archive, you should have clip album commands. And for me, the coarse and the Eastern are important. And I've got both of those open at the moment. So the coarse album commands are designed to be used to first just do a simple run through and just delete out the noises before you start doing your identifications. And so, you can sort of use these things to like go to the next clip. In the previous clip, I used the period and the comma key. Basically, I spend the majority of my time when there's a mixture of noises and calls. I spend the majority of my time getting these three keys. They're all adjacent, the minus, the comma, the period, and the slash. I'm handling those with my right hand. And then with my left hand, I'm tapping C and N. And if it's all garbage, then I'm hitting Shift N and then Shift period, so that I label a whole page garbage, next page garbage, next page. So those are the commands that I will be I'll be looking at. I'm just checking to see progress. It looks like it starts. Yeah. So it's still on the first 3 hours. So we've got a good amount of time left. I have not. I haven't put many of the identification commands over here, but I plan to do more of that because I like being able to do most of the identification on the first pass. So I plan to put more of the common IDs over there. But the Eastern calls has literally every species, so that I can type in the 4-letter banding codes to ID them. And just about every other key on the keyboard can be assigned to something or another. And I change these from time to time. And I'm, obviously got some free spaces here. I don't get too many McGillivrays warblers here in my Eastern calls. So, I'll probably change that to morning warbler soon enough when I'm getting into the right part of spring. But yeah, I'm constantly thinking about what's more common, what deserves a hotkey more, and I keep this open so that if I can't remember, oh yeah, what's the hotkey for Savannah Sparrow? I'm like, oh, that one's lowercase s. What's the hotkey for unidentified bird? It's T. So I've got all that right here in the Eastern calls. Of course, I still have some cool stuff. I haven't played much with the auto advance and whatnot, but I think if you have a really a large number of things that are similar, like if you had, it was all Swainson's thrushes that night, then you would start to like auto advance. Or if there's all false positives or something, which you can get with the old bird detector. Let's see if our first 3 hours is handled. Yep. And so now it's so it found 359 clips on the thrush detector and 249 on the seep detector. And these are really old-fashioned detectors, so there's a fair amount of false positives. Raindrops and stuff can set it off. So we'll see how much in the way of real bird action there was, but it was certainly a night where the radar showed that there was a lot of action, just to demonstrate that it's not happening tonight. But looking at last night, there was a good pile. Last night was a real peak, and so yeah, the county had 1 million birds in flight a little bit before midnight that night, and you can see that they had a good northbound trajectory and over 1,000-foot average altitude as far as the radar could detect, and yeah, good peak movement. It was a nice release after a whole bunch of unfavorable migration nights. So I'm optimistic there will be a decent amount, but of course most of these birds are flying over the top. It wasn't a low cloud ceiling event that would draw them into my lighted town. So anyway, even after running the detector, you can then run the classifier if you want. That saves you time as far as of trimming out lots of raindrops and such kind of garbage. But I'm not going to do that for today's demonstration, just because it takes long enough to just run the old bird detectors, and I don't want to stop and restart the recording. Okay. As soon as I said I'm not going to pause the recording, I realized I should be pausing the recording. Now I've resumed the recording. So I'm going to view the clip calendar. Here on the clip calendar, I can click on the 6th and see if anything's shown up yet. There's no clips because we haven't run the classifier, and therefore I'm going to run the MPG Ranch classifier on the exact same date. And the detectors that need to be classified from are these two. I'm not going to tag them. And I push classify. It says, all right, we're going to go do that. It's going to be running. Pause my recording again. All right. Now that we have done that, suddenly the seep detector is showing a lot of stuff. And so I'm going to start analyzing, I guess. Let me redo my share with sound. So now if I click on this first one, if I hit period, I go forward. If I hit comma, I go back. If I want to know what this sounds like a cardinal locally, which from a nocturnal flight call perspective is garbage. So I'm marking these N by hitting, I'm marking these as noises by hitting N. I don't think this is a real thing. Yeah, that's just garbage. This looks like it might be an ovenbird, so I'll leave that as a call. That's the old bird tone. So I'm hitting noise, 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 call. That's probably something off the ground or behind the wall. Good chipping sparrows in the air. So another ovenbird, hooray. I think that's a distant ovenbird. Black and white warbler, hooray. Oops, did I hit the wrong thing? I did hit the wrong thing. Now I've got it right. Noise, 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 noise. That probably is a bird, but that's probably not ovenbird again. Call, call. Not sure. So soft. Oh, do I have my first chestnut sided of the year? That's cool. Such a short cut. I don't really know if it's definitely that, but cool. The echo blur suggests that might be a chipping sparrow on the ground, but anyway, got an ovenbird. It's probably a white throat. That's definitely a bird. Savannah. I don't know. This looks like a junco. Could be a chipping sparrow. Not sure. So yeah, that's that for the seep calls. We also need to look at the thrush detector calls. Hooray! We got call, call, call. Not sure, not sure, nothing. That looks like something. I don't know what this is. That's garbage. Garbage. Let's see, what do I have here? Garbage. Bird, 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 bird. It's probably robin, huh? Yeah. Oh well. So that's all I got. And by the way, if I go back to seep and I'm here, I can switch to my Eastern calls presets. And if I need to remember what the heck's an ovenbird, that's lowercase o. That's going to be my most important thing. And chipping sparrow is lowercase a. So that's going to get me through a lot of my stuff. I think I'm going to call that an ovenbird. I'm going to call that an unidentified warbler, which is capital L. I'm going to call that chippy, chippy, oven. Not sure. What did I think P means passerine. What do I say for passerine? Yeah, lowercase p. Black and white warbler. That looks like a noise, but I guess it's an ovenbird. It's a ground thing, maybe a cardinal. What is this? I don't know. It also sounds like it's on the ground, and it's a chipping sparrow, but might be garbage. That is so low and so long and finally buzzy. I think that's a chestnut-sided warbler, which I don't think I have a shortcut for. So I'm going to hit equals. CSWA. Hopefully that's chestnut-sided warbler. I don't memorize those things very well. Again, that looks like that echo blur really looks like that chipping sparrow is on the ground. I think I'm gonna mark it, but I feel not particularly great about marking it. Maybe I should mark it noise. That's ovenbird. That's a white-throated sparrow, which I think, yeah, Savannah. I think those are juncos, but again, chipping sparrows make those chevrons. I'm gonna call it I need to learn how to type. I'm gonna call it, oh, actually, I think capital D was my command for dark-eyed junco. Maybe at one time. I've got no capital D going right now. Oh, it was capital J, wasn't it? That's it. Anyway, that's all I had for that. If I want to make some decisions on those lower pitched birds. That's a veery. That sounds like a rose-breasted grosbeak, which I can't remember my code for. Oh, capital G for grosbeak. I'm going to call that a hermit thrush. What's this guy? Probably wood thrush. Q is my command there. Not sure. Instead of Swainson's. What do I have Swainson's as? Don't tell me to delete that. It's H. That's weird. Not sure about that one. Let that one go. Yeah, Robin. Okay, cool. So I classified a night. That's how I do it. If you have any questions, email me.